Hello citizens, Seer 6 here. Today we weigh out the pros and cons between the Prowler and the Valkyrie. Let's get to it. So, the Prowler got an update. Since they both now can carry the same amount of grunts, so to speak, it really boils down to which one would you choose. So, looking at the Valkyrie first, it carries a crew of 5 to 7 people. You have the top and bottom turret, the 2 remote side turrets, 2 side door gunner turrets, and the pilot with its own dedicated turret hardpoint as well. So, roughly 27 people without a ground vehicle. That's a lot of roles to fill. Speaking of vehicles, the Valkyrie can also carry up to an Ursa Rover, which could also be used for an infantry fighting vehicle. As I've said before, this allows this troop transport to perform a double duty role. Obviously as a troop transport first, but once you drop those troops off, you can then double back to be a gunship. Not an all-out gunship, but this has the crew and the turret hardpoints to provide loiter protection for the grunts once they're on the battlefield. The ship does not have any missiles and also relies heavily on the VTOL thrusters for its fight characteristics. It's also important to note the fact that this big, beefy ship radiates a huge amount of EM and IR signature. All of this and a large cross-section to put the cherry on top. So, this ship definitely needs some kind of escort in order to protect your troops. But I feel like this ship can stay out longer because of the weapons package. Of course, if you have the crew to fill it. Compared to the Prowler, the ship definitely provides more flexibility between the two in terms of combat logistics. But what if you don't really care about bringing a ground vehicle into battle and you also do not want to alert the enemy? Well, this is where the Prowler comes in. The Prowler, of course, is a stealth dropship. That being said, this means you have a lot less radiation to deal with if you treat the ship right. It also is designed for you to have the side doors open and have a protective barrier to allow your troops to be in a breathable atmosphere until they go through the mesh shielding that protects them from a harsh outside atmosphere. The Valkyrie, however, does not have this feature. Opening any doors will vent the ship and potentially leaving any unprotected allies injured, i.e. the crew. Not only this, but according to the developers who are currently working on the ship, this ship also has a Phalanx Shield or point defense shield system. Basically, the shield provides a very strong but limited protective face. The ship also has a crew of 2, just being a pilot and your co-pilot, so it really makes it easy to fill up the ship with actual troops. The weapons package, so to speak, includes 2 guns for the pilot and 1 360-degree turret for the co-pilot. At the same time, this thing is equipped with a gravity levitation devices that allow the ship to smoothly fly along the ground. What this does is it not only allows the ship to fly under the radar, but it also gives an additional flight control when traversing along uneven surfaces, and allows the ship to glide along capital class vessels' exterior surfaces in terms of breaching. All of this is great, but stealth does have its downsides. To keep signatures low, the ship acceleration takes a hit. All components are geared toward keeping the emissions low, so your overall performance also takes a hit. But since the art of stealth is built into the ship, when used right, it will give you a very negative impact towards your enemy. So, the ship overall boasts in being used for breaching capital ships and bases and leaving until it's time to recover the troops. Another important factor is range. In terms of hydrogen fuel, the Valkyrie is a gas guzzler, and per the Q&A, the Prowler also has poor range as well. Another thing to consider is the fact that the Valkyrie has living quarters. This would make it easier to fill roles of the crew with AI because they'll be able to cycle between the statuses they are in, from combat to a sleep cycle, for example. This also gives you the ability to log off in space. As far as we know, the Prowler has a staging area but no beds. However, this may change by the end of the year. Sadly though, the most important factor of all is cost. $375 for a troop transport is a lot of money, and $425 for a ship that has stealth is still a lot for the average player who wants to fill this niche within the verse. So basically a $50 difference between the two. You can honestly go buy a Cutlass Black and a Dragonfly all in a game package and still have some money left over. Less troops and all, but you still have a ship that can fill almost every role in terms of combat, and can still be used also for hauling some sort of cargo as well. The Hoplite can also fill a similar role as well and perform different roles too, and still far cheaper. But remember this, these are the professional or role-orientated ships designed to be good at one thing compared to a ship that provides flexibility. At the end of the day, I'm most likely going to choose the Prowler over the Valkyrie because of the stealth capabilities. Even though I own both dropships with LTI, I feel like the Prowler will be the safer bet for putting all your eggs in one basket. I'm not too worried about loader support because gunships can fill that role. But if the team doesn't have the numbers, then I don't mind flying a Valkyrie around and being tasked out as such. In closing, I hope this summary helped narrow down what ship you are debating between. If you personally enjoyed this video and got something out of it, then I would ask you to consider liking it and possibly sharing it with a buddy or to anyone debating between the two ships. Also, feel free to tell me your thoughts between the Valkyrie and the Prowler in the comments below, and consider subscribing if you enjoy my content overall. But until next time, fellow citizens, I will see you on the flip side.